Good morning, how are we doing? A life without limits. How amazing would that be? So what I want you to do in the comments is give me 2 barriers that stop you living the life that you want to live. That life without limits. And it's a great exercise for you to raise your self-awareness and start thinking about the things that are stopping you achieving the top level of life that you want to. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Rise to Thrive show. I am your host, James Boardman. And if you are coming through, please do hit the love heart button. Please do comment that you're here watching. Don't be that little lurker in the background. And if you're happy to, then please share. So, some info for you guys. On these videos, or after this video, you'll see a little bell at the top right. If you click on that bell, you'll be able to choose the option to know when I'm going to go live. So whenever I go live, it will just instantly tell you. All right. So when it comes to a lot of people say, I don't know when to show up for these morning shows. I don't know how to do it. There's a little bell there, and you can change your notification setting to say the Man Coach is now live, or whenever you get those lives. How are we doing? It's cold this morning, right? It is cold. So I want to talk about a life without limits, because I think I know that I'm guilty of this as well, by the way, of putting limitations on what we think that we can achieve. And I think that if we smash through those limitations, we can hopefully elevate the way that we live our life, elevate the way that we think and what we think is possible. We can elevate the experience for other people that are in our lives, our wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, kids, friends, family. Because the byproduct of you living your best life, or your life to your max, or at that elite operator status, is a happier wife, is a more loving relationship, is more connectivity with your child, is a fitter, healthier mindset, body, emotions, is an elevated status of more confidence, is the next level or upgrade in the way that you perform in your own life. All of these things elevate the way you live your life, but we put limits on them. So to give you some examples, self-limiting beliefs, what you think you are capable of. So here's an interesting story. One of my lads, I think this must have been about 2019, 2020, one of my lads in the Brotherhood, we were setting goals, and he said, right, I want to run 10 miles. I want to run 10 miles in October, bearing in mind it's February. Okay, and we're talking, what is that, 9 months roughly? Something like that. And he wanted to run 10 miles in 9 months. Now, straight away, his self-limiting beliefs were one of, it's going to take 9 months to be able to run 10 miles. When in theory, you could have run 10 miles that day. Every single one of you watching this could run 10 miles today. Somehow, some way. You can run and walk. If I chased you down the street with an axe, you'd run. If I threatened to cut off your toes every time you stopped, you keep going. There's always that next level. Anyway, I challenged him to sign up for a marathon in 9 months, to go out there and run a marathon rather than 10 miles. And suddenly everything shifted in his mind. He's, I can't do it, blah, 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 blah. And in the end, we got him to sign up, and he ran 10 miles in 3 weeks. I think it was 3 or 4 weeks. That was straight away an overcoming a limitation. So he was then living his life without limits when it came to running. So that gives you an idea about a limitation that you put on yourself, that you kind of put this burden on, and you walk around with this burden and it weighs you down, and you're trying to run really fast, but the burden's weighing you down. They're your limitations. So in the comments, this is what I was asking that question at the start. What are your limitations that are stopping you living your absolute best life, the elite operator life, the elite operator mentality? Another one is confidence. Another one is confidence. And confidence is something I feel is developed through momentum. So when you are up and you're at it, and you're living your best life, you're doing your morning routine, you're putting yourself on the line, you're going to the gym, you're working on yourself, you start to recognize traits of yourself. And those traits start to build confidence. There's a connectivity with the way that your brain and your body works and your outlook on life. Because when you build momentum and when you're consistent, you then start to feel like you're capable. And when you're capable, you build up that confidence. But it only happens when you follow a process. Like next week is the 5-day Fire It Up Challenge. It is a great opportunity for 5 days for me to be your coach and elevate the levels that you think that you can show up, to break through the limitations that you have. And that's the purpose really of those 5 days, that 5-day structured framework, in each sense waking you up. Because I feel like a large majority of you are sleepwalking, are zombies, are restricting what you're capable of. Because in here you put limits on it. That's where I come in, right? So when people are in the mastermind, people are on my Back to Basics in 28 days, on my accelerator programs, when they come to my workshops, my job is make them believe that they are much more capable than they are. Not even make them believe, guide them, open their eyes, because you are. It's great to have so many of you here actually watching live. This is like great, 40 of you. Amazing to have you here this morning, guys. Already, you are living life without limits. You're up. You're living a life. This is your personal development. This is hopefully setting you up for the day. The Rise to Thrive show is something that I wanted men to just think about for the day. Okay? So I want you to think of those two things that are your limitations right now. The things that you've commented in here. And it's important that you do comment in here. Because it's the eye-opener. It's like reading a book and never action in it. Okay? How long we got left? And I want you to go away from this live, and what I want you to do is go away and go, right, okay, they were my initial two. How am I going to overcome them? How can I overcome them in January? You've just set a goal. There's two limitations. I'm not very confident. I don't think I can achieve that. Right, my January's goal is, how do I go about improving that? You might not get to the final cure of that, but what you will do is be working towards direction. You now have purpose. You're now building up an elite operator mentality. Just from this exercise, just from this live, we've managed to untangle a knot and now have a path that we can work towards. Make sense? All right, guys. Remember, always remember this. You are only 1% away from, you have to finish that sentence, from being a better husband, from being a more committed dad, from being the next level in your business, from losing the next pound. You are only ever 1% away from doing whatever it is that you are trying to achieve. Micro steps, consistency, living a life without limits. Friday, 5:30, I will see you here, ready to go. If you haven't registered for the 5-day Fire It Up Challenge, Jesus, man, what do we have to do to get you on there? Even if you're a client of mine, even if you've done it before, you need to come on board. You need to get your head in the game. Links up here. I will see you Friday. Have an amazing day.